Welcome everyone. Today we have a Path of Exile 2 news update. And in this video, we'll look at an important discovery how you can be getting tier 16 maps directly from the jobs of the bosses. And this also drops some really good items. So let me show you some of the potential loots from this boss. So unidentified tier 16 map is 12 Exalt and you guarantee 3 of those. And if you do happen to get increased quantity or increased rarity together with increased experience, you can get anywhere from 15 to 20 Exalt per map times 3. On top of that, this boss also drops this item that could sell for 1 divine. And finally, you can potentially get a massive drop from this boss, which can plus all 3 skill ranks to Skeleton Arsonist, Skeleton Force Mage, and also Skeleton Snipers. You can see Skeleton Boots and everything, and those are selling for over 90 and also 100 plus divines. So let me explain to you guys in this video, and also I have made some notes to try to explain everything. How does this potential bug works? And how are people farming Abbot of Ashes, and how this can be potentially massively profitable. And with the latest discovery, the cost of this method is also going down because you're guaranteed to get at least around 36 or 50 Exalt refund coming from those tier 16 maps. So coming over to this popular Chinese forum post, and this one, the Chinese community has discovered that you can get clean tier 16 maps. So what they mean by clean is uncorrupted tier 16 maps that drops directly, which is usually very rare in the game and it's very hard to find. So because of this, what they have discovered that is that when you are fighting the Atlas boss with the Abbot of Ashes, which is required from having those 3 keys and also add the Monolith of Flames. So those are the 3 crisis fragments you will need. We'll talk about the price after, but let's have a look at the passive they have picked. So they picked the top 2, which will give them variable currencies, while they picked the bottom one, which is, if we come over here, this guarantees the Abbot drop 3 additional tier 15 Waystones. But after testing, the Chinese players actually discovered that when they perked into this point, they're actually getting tier 16 Waystones. And because of this, with a lot of rarity found, they were also getting special unique jewels that sells for a ton of divines and also some really good items. You can see 3 tier 16 maps drop directly from the boss. And what the players are believing is that this is actually coming from this drop 3 additional tier 15 Waystones. So yes, the post did say that this can potentially be a bug, or maybe there's some mechanics in the game we don't know that added 1 rank to the maps. So this potential bug, if it was a bug, let's let the developers know and get this fixed up. But if this is intentional in the game, then it's even better. So let's come over to our notes. You can see that if you get a passive for times 3 tier 15 maps, you're actually getting times 3 tier 16 maps. And also players are getting a lot of magic find for additional unique jewel drops, which is very important. So the points you really want to get for this boss is this particular point for unique gems, and also the socketed currencies, and also this one for the additional maps. And they have chances for double unique items as well. So let's have a look at the cost of entering the Abbot of Ashes. Now, just to show you guys how to get to the boss, you come to the Burning Monolith and you will require 3 fragments that drops from the cathedrals. And notice that the 3 fragments are the crisis fragments. Now, the fragments actually varies in price. So I did a price check just now for you guys. The ancient crisis fragment at 75 Exalt, the faded crisis 235 Exalt, and finally Weather Crisis 58 Exalt. So on average, the runs of the boss will cost about 3.6 divines, just to summarize the cost of the boss. So what are the potential jobs that you can get from this boss? Let's have a look at some of the searches I did look up. So not only you can get maps which can sell anywhere from 12 Exalt each times 3, and maps that can sell for 20 Exalt each times 3. Notice we're searching for the uncorrupted ones. And here I do want to bring us back. Why would people want uncorrupted ones? Is that with the corrupted ones, once you corrupt them to tier 16, you cannot change the modifiers. With uncorrupted ones, people can craft onto the tier 16 by adding another anointed with this Delta Grid, and also adding another rarity found onto those maps. So if you guys didn't know, you can anoint your maps, and as you anoint your maps, you can increase the additional rarity and also pack size depending on the distilled items. And notice that if they find the right tier 16 and they super juice and so super craft this one, this is why tier 16 uncorrupted maps are selling for a lot more. and people can craft into certain modifiers like increased rarity, increased quantity found, and this allows those maps, not only you can resell them for massively, you can also use them in your super juiced maps for a tier 18 map with the best modifiers you can find. And this is one of the reasons this particular discovery not only help players who want to resell those maps, but also help players who want to juice up maps for the best experience in the late game. So coming back to the loot tables of the boss, you'll get about 3 times of those maps guaranteed coming from those passive, and then there's chance of dropping some of the unique items that can sell for 1 divine. Sometimes the people try to sell for higher, but there's no way to sell it for 1991, right? Usually it's about 1 divine, 2 divine for a good roll. And finally, the biggest roll are those Prison of Belief diamond. If you hit a jackpot of a meta skill or a meta summon or anything that is meta, this +3 can give you a lot of divine. Even the cheapest of those gems are selling for 1 to 2 divine. And this in total is the reason why people are paying 3.6 divine to run this boss. And with the latest discovery that guarantee you to get some tier 16 maps, the cost of running those bosses are minus a little bit. So you're compensated for about maybe 0.4 divine. So the cost goes down to maybe 3.2 divine because of this discovery. Now, of course, there's also chances for the boss to drop perfect jewelers and also other currencies like greater jewelers. The greater jewelers are about 35, 38 exalt, while perfect jewelers are close to 3 divine. It is not exactly 3 divine, but this can pretty much fund your run if you're lucky for one of those jewelers as well coming from the boss. So this is why the players have the variable socket currencies over here for a greater chance of those. Now, it is not for everyone to be able to run this boss because firstly, you've got to be able to kill it, right? We do have a guide video to show you guys how you can kill the boss, but this is also the previous video which with the Pathfinder. I'm sure most of the build can kill the boss, but you can see the boss actually dies pretty fast if you have a decent build. So check out the previous video, which we demonstrated a really good mapping build and also bossing build. Now, just to show you guys, over here my friend Drumcast did not know and did not have the points. And you do need to kill the boss to get the books to get those points. So this is the important part. At the start, you will not have the points allocated. The first time you kill the boss, you get a book. And as you add more ranks to over here, as you add more ranks, you have more books. And this makes the boss stronger. So you kill more of the boss to get even better loot because of this. Now that we covered everything, I do want to take a moment to talk about what might happen after people watch this video and what might happen to the prices of items. Sometimes it's important for me to help you guys guide a little bit. I don't think it's going to crazily destroy the market, but there may be a slight price increase as people try to test this out because this is a discovery and people want to try it. People who are wealthy enough, they might be buying those fragments. So you might experience a slight increase of price of those fragments. If you are farming for those fragments in the cathedrals, or if you have those fragments, maybe this is actually good for you because even if you don't care about this method, the price of your items will go up. Now, the potential for the price for the tier 16 maps to be lowered, this is very likely because I share those methods, and as people discover those methods, those prices of tier 16 maps will be lowered. And if you're looking to buy or find tier 16 maps, this can also be good for you. And finally, there will be more +3 skill rank gems on the market, which can also be good for players who want to have access to those ultimate endgame items for some really powerful gems that scales massively in the endgame. So I do believe this is a good thing we share, and if you're farming those bosses, make sure you consider going for those points because you can get the tier 16 maps ×3 this way. Now, thank you so much for everyone that has been supporting me financially or through donations or through Patreon or just liking the videos and also leaving a nice comment. And as I discover more interesting tips and also guides from both Chinese and also English communities, I'll be sharing and also translating for you guys and also make a better breakdown. And for chances I do make a mistake, guys, let me know in the comments below. I'll try to adjust it in the pinned comments. And if you do have suggestions similar to those cool methods and also tips, you can also let us know in the comments as well. So we'll be looking and also learning with Path of Exile 2 together, one step at a time. Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is going to be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.